You got to know yourself. Knowing yourself is one of the only things in life that is an end in and of itself. Now, what does that mean? Is that knowing yourself is an end in and of itself. Because what you have to know, one of the things that you have to know the most is knowing what are you willing to accept and what are you willing to not accept from people. You got to have your boundaries. Every country has a boundary. Every living organism has a boundary between itself and the outside world. That's how you know an organism is living, if it has boundaries between itself and the outside world, right? That's what organisms is. That's what social circles are. Cultures are that. Cultures are things that have a social force that creates a barrier between itself and the outside world. So if you don't know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, you're gonna gain that knowledge when the moment comes. And usually when the moment comes is when you're at a high emotional state. And that emotional state usually means maybe you're hurt, maybe you are offended, maybe you feel down. And as a result, you start creating standards based on how you feel, and that's not good. You got to set standards with consequences when you're in a rational state of mind. So what does that mean? You got to know what type of actions are considered disrespectful and what types of actions are not considered disrespectful. And then you got to know what are the consequences for the disrespectful actions. You got to have a mental, like almost like a policy at a job. What you do is saying, okay, if somebody is continually late to our meetups, then I'm just going to eventually, after 3 times, let them know that I don't like that. And communicate that. If somebody talks bad in front of my friends and family, I'm gonna let them know that I took offense to that, so that they can then not do it again. But if they do it again, then you're gonna have another level of consequences, right? Make sure the consequences fit the crime, and make sure that you're willing to follow through. What happens when you do that is that having an understanding that if somebody does something disrespectful to you, that you're willing to fight for yourself. It marinates your senses. It changes the way you look at people. It changes the way you communicate. It changes your posture. It changes your whole vibe when you internally have your hand on your sword and you don't put your weapons down, not even for friends. That changes your whole composure. Carry yourself like royalty. Dress the best that you could dress. Even if you're poor, try to dress the best that you could dress. Keep your place as clean as possible. Walk with dignity. Don't walk with your back hunched. Walk with dignity. Walk as though you are destined for destiny. When you walk with a sense of destiny, when you know that you're meant for greatness, not with arrogance, not with a sense of superiority, but that you know that the universe has something set for you and that you're willing to work for it, people will begin to see how you see yourself. And the thing about value is that some people will see you as the most valuable person in the world and some people don't. And why is that? Because of their projections. To some people, you represent something they value, and to some people, you represent something you don't value. You are different according to how they see the world. So some people will not value you. And if you get mad at that some people don't value you, what you are doing is internalizing that low self-worth. So you have to say no and be willing to walk away when someone is not prioritizing you. They're not calling you on time. They're always late on the meetups. They disrespect you in front of other people. They lie to you. They gaslight you. All of those things are signs that people don't prioritize you. And the most important thing is to leave, because when you stay with people who don't prioritize you, you internalize the way that they feel, because emotions are contagious. Point of views are contagious. And if somebody sees you and you represent them settling, then you're going to feel that low self-worth directed towards yourself. Don't do that. You're committing violence against yourself. The next thing is respect your words, right? Never break your promises. There is something when you know that you don't live the life that you say you do, it does affect you. You are committing violence against yourself. There is something that genuinely happens to your psyche whenever you break your word. So you tell people you're going to do something, and deep down, you know you're not going to do it. You stop respecting yourself. And that's going to radiate outward, and people are going to sense that energy. And because humans imitate, if they sense that you don't respect yourself, what the hell you think is going to happen? They're going to start testing you, because you're sending signs of weakness by you not respecting yourself. It's so important to never break your promises, man. So important to never break your promises to yourself. There's a certain sense of pride and high self-esteem you feel when you learn to follow through on your words, because then people will know you. And also, never break your promises to people. If you say you're going to do something, do it. People don't respect people who don't follow through on their words. People don't. And they're going to talk about you as somebody who doesn't keep their words. And so you're going to be someone who has no integrity. And also, a lot of the reasons why we allow disrespect is because we feel unhappy on the inside. The more unhappy and the lower your self-esteem, the more disrespect you're going to take, because you find comfort in just being around anyone who gives you any sort of attention. That is enough for you. That means you're selling yourself short. And people know that because they're buying your presence for cheap. And what do they do when you buy something that's cheap? You disrespect it. You throw it around. You treat it like trash. Yeah, that's right. You got it. So the key is to develop a habit of learning how to produce positive emotions from yourself so that you could stop clinging on to other people to make you feel good. That's a big burden you're putting on other people. So that you develop a meditation practice. Even Marcus Aurelius talked about this. Developing a deep meditation process creates an ecosystem of positive emotion that radiates from the outside, and humans are naturally attracted to people who have good emotions, who, when you're around them, by their mere presence, you feel at ease. And remember, emotions are contagious. So if you feel good about yourself, you're going to make other people feel good by just your presence. And that's going to make people gravitate towards you. And by you attracting so many people, it's going to have the aura of charisma, the aura of respect. And so that inspires respect because they see other people following you. They see other people treating you with respect. They see other people wanting your attention. And because humans are imitative creatures, if they see other people looking out for you and looking for your attention, people are going to assume you have something good to offer. And once they see you that you have something good to offer and good emotions, people are just going to gravitate towards you. And also, the good emotion that you develop through meditation also insulates you against the bullshit that people throw at you, against people trying to lowball you. Because the only time you accept lowballs, the only time you accept disrespect is when you're not happy. That's why happiness is so important. Happiness is pretty much self-esteem. The lower your self-esteem, the more unhappy you are. The higher your self-esteem, the more happy you are. And notice I'm not talking about having success and building up success to develop self-esteem. That is a form of self-esteem. I'm talking about at the root of high self-esteem is a type of self-esteem that doesn't require words or memories. It's a self-esteem that just arises from a meditation practice. Just observing your breath creates this type of effect. All right. And that's how, if you apply these strategies, being willing to walk away, which is the most important thing. Because if you're willing to walk away, that means you're able to be happy by yourself. The reason why I say you got to be happy is simply because most of the time when people get in toxic relationships, the toxic relationships are just people who are lowballing you, who are treating you less than you deserve, and you accepting it. And the reason why you tend to accept is because maybe you're going through a period where you're depressed and sad. And I remember the relationships that I've gotten in that hurt me the most, that were most unequal, that they didn't treat me right, was when I was sad and depressed and I met someone in that sad, depressed period. And it's almost like sadness and unhappiness tends to attract toxic partners, tends to attract people who don't value you, tends to attract relationships that create more of that. That's why it's so important to have that peace of mind. And that's why meditation is so important when it comes as the foundation. And don't try to convince people because of your value. Why? Because that's called reverse supplication. You try to show off. You start saying things to qualify yourself to them. All of those things reinforce low self-esteem. The next thing that you could do for them to see your value is to have friends. So outside of you being at peace, because that's the most important thing, because being at peace is self-validating. And when you validate yourself, you're almost putting a value on yourself and being a high value, because you don't need somebody to buy what you're selling because you already bought it yourself. You're sub-communicating to them that they need to value you. And if they don't value you, you walk away. You are a hot item. You should not be begging for people to buy what you're offering. You should be in the storefront, have it offered, put your high price, but don't beg. And do not, and I repeat, do not put yourself on sale. Nothing that's valuable goes on sale. Have you seen a Da Vinci on sale? 2 Da Vincis for 1? Get the hell out of here. Don't put yourself on sale. And if you do that and you tell people you watch my channel, don't do that. Don't tell people you watch my channel and you lower your value and you sell yourself short, all because you don't feel happy. Develop a meditation process. Learn to be with your breath. That will raise your self-esteem, because what that's doing is producing positive emotions inside of you. That's not stimulated by the outside. You are creating your own ecosystem of positive emotions. And that attracts people. And that makes you valuable in their eyes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have 2 nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, you know. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. Oh, I'm closing the channel.